It's the Worst of the Riot podcast. This is the Thursday, December 7th edition. Today in the show, we talk about Time's new Person of the Year. You probably know by now it's Taylor Swift, but we talk a little about her and more about who she defeated to get that title.
And it is a cast of some members you would not guess.
Amazing characters.
Some of the finalists, very controversial.
That's right. We also get to talking about a drink that is surprisingly putting out a non-alcoholic version. Very confusing. And we hit on why I'm not more successful. The one single reason. The only explanation. It's all explained. It's all coming up here in the podcast. Tomorrow, the next episode of the podcast, no Isaiah.
I'll be out of here.
Dipping out on us. But Nikki will be here in your stead. So Isaiah, have a good long weekend.
And I'll see you guys soon.
Catch you next time.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot, Radio U.
White Claw, well-known alcoholic seltzer, is about to release their very first non-alcoholic seltzer. Down is up is down, dogs and cats living together. White Claw, known for being the alcoholic seltzer brand that you would turn to. If you want an alcoholic seltzer, you know you can find it with a White Claw. But now you don't know, because now 0%, I'm seeing right here on the can, 0% alcohol, White Claw is coming to shelves.
See, but they're kind of just following the trend, because I feel like the majority of these brands are now, they have an alcoholic and non-alcoholic selection.
It is true.
It's very popular nowadays.
I believe that it is the case that every non-alcoholic drink in time, give it 5 years, if they haven't done it already, will have an alcoholic version, and vice versa. I said the other day, one day Liquid Death, the well-known water that is known for just being water that you can drink around people who are drinking alcohol and not look like a square, Liquid Death is going to have an alcoholic version. I guarantee it one day. And the next closest thing is White Claw having a non-alcoholic version. But, I mean, I guess you could say when White Claw came out, right, they were zigging when everyone else was zagging. They were making alcoholic seltzer when everything else was about beer and other stuff. Now everyone's trying to make their alcoholic seltzer, and White Claw yet again zagging the competition by going, we're going out non-alcoholic. We're going reverse.
Well, this is one of the few ones that actually makes sense.
It makes sense. I mean, because
it's a seltzer.
Yeah.
A seltzer water.
It is. It's a tough space to enter, wouldn't you say, though? There's a lot of seltzers.
A lot of trash seltzers.
You don't like LaCroix?
I was going to say, have you ever had a LaCroix?
I love LaCroix.
Well, there's your first problem.
LaCroix is, it had its moment.
Easily could be overtaken.
And you think about it, I mean, I love LaCroix, but first of all, expensive for what it is. Second of all, the height of LaCroix was years ago. So maybe White Claw is sensing that it's weak at the knees right now, and there's a space to be taken.
Oh, it is weak at the knees.
Or maybe just the whole non-alcoholic seltzer space is weak at the knees itself, and this is a foolish move by White Claw. It's tough to say.
Yeah, I think a seltzer water could be an area where there could be more. That could be better. I don't really like seltzer water whatsoever. LaCroix, not for me. These White Claw ones, I assume, won't be for me either.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I always say this about, I guess, every alcoholic thing. I don't know that people drink White Claw and they're like, I just love the taste.
The flavor.
Yeah. It's like, this has a little bit of alcohol
I love the mango.
in it. I can fit in at a summer party.
That lime.
Yeah.
That black cherry.
If only there was a non-alcoholic version so I could drink this all the time.
Every day.
Yeah. Well, now there is. For that one person that's been thinking that.
So if you're a fan of seltzer water, here you go.
There you go. Four tried and true flavors now without the alcohol.
Nobody does it better. The Riot, Radio U.
Yesterday it was revealed Times Person of the Year. And I believe anybody, you give them 3 guesses for sure, they would get it because it's obvious. Times Person of the Year is Taylor Swift. Obviously, a huge year for Taylor. And beating out some impressive competition. Every single other person in the world. You got to give her credit for that. Where does this rank among her accomplishments?
I mean, pretty low.
Yeah, actually. There's many other things that she's done that I feel are more impressive. But it does put her in some pretty impressive company. Like, you think about the other people that have won Person of the Year. Most of them fairly important, to say the least. So she also did like a big interview with Time, of course, where she had some interesting thoughts. So of course you can go check those out. She kind of downplays the supposed feud that she would have with Beyonce. She says that they're friends. She talks about the Travis Kelce relationship. It does kind of shed some light, if you recall, the little feud she had with Kanye years ago.
Oh, yeah.
But that hasn't been covered enough. So what's your first reaction, Isaiah, to Taylor Swift adding one more mega accomplishment to her mantle?
I mean, this seemed like an obvious one
A
for
no-brainer.
2023. I wanted to know who the other candidates were.
Every other person.
And so I'm looking at some of the top choices
Yeah.
of who she beat out.
Uh-huh.
Coming in second place, Barbie.
Not a person.
Not a real person.
Although that wouldn't be probably the first time that Time has done something goofy like that.
We also had King Charles III
Yeah.
coming in third. How about
Fittingly.
in fourth, Hollywood Strikers?
Wow. We're already scraped that. That's where we're at.
Fifth, you might be wondering, Sam Altman. Who's
Is
that?
I'm
Come
only
on.
familiar with him from a couple weeks ago. He is the OpenAI CEO.
He is behind a lot of the artificial intelligence thing with all
Yeah.
like ChatGPT and all that jazz.
So he actually might have been, even though not a household name, he may have been also an appropriate choice.
And then it just gets down to the 1%ers.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? What do you think about some of her top competition?
I think it makes it even more clear that she was the correct choice.
Yeah.
She affected culture and the conversation, society, worldwide, much more than any of those others, except, yet again, maybe Sam Altman. But even he is a singular individual that would be, the whole mantle of AI would be placed upon him. And I don't know if that'd be fully accurate, but also I don't know enough about AI to know.
Yeah, it's pretty wild when you go down the list of even who was considered. There was 9 finalists,
Mm-hmm.
and 3 of them I feel like were very controversial.
Okay.
You want me to name the controversial ones?
Go ahead.
Oh, perfect. Let's get controversial. We've got
We're not
Trump.
taking sides.
We've got Trump prosecutors.
Okay.
We've got Vladimir Putin.
Yeah.
After waging his war in Ukraine,
Uh-huh.
he made it in the top 9 for Times People of the Year. We also have Jerome Powell, who is the chairman of the Federal Reserve in charge of high inflation.
Yeah. That would have been another good choice, I suppose. Very talked about in the past year. But I don't know. Would you say maybe it was a down year for persons?
I mean,
Would you say?
if 3 of the 9 are controversial figures, I would say so.
I think Vladimir Putin, I would argue 2023 wasn't even his biggest year.
No, I wonder what he came in last year.
Yeah. Much more.
This year, he was number 8.
Yeah.
He had 3% of the vote.
How embarrassing for
How do you
him.
get to vote also? I would like to be able to have a vote.
Who would you vote for Taylor Swift?
I mean, this year I would have for sure voted for Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
This was her year. I mean, she's
clear cut.
obvious choice.
Yeah. Now, okay, let's make a big prediction. 2024 Person of the Year.
That's
Who
a
will it
good
be?
question. Who could possibly overtake Taylor Swift as a better person of the
Yeah.
year next year? Well, if someone wages a war, they'll be in the top 9.
Mm-hmm. Also, well, you got to think election 2024.
Oh, good. Yeah.
So probably one of the people running for president, I would guess. Maybe like, I don't know. I don't even want to start theorizing about what's going to happen with that. But I'm going to say politician. Can I just say that?
You're going to go politician,
Yeah,
huh?
can that just be somebody election adjacent in some way?
I'm going to go in a different category. I'm going to go not a real person. I'm going to go like the Barbie,
Yeah.
Hollywood strikers. I'm going to go that route.
Okay.
Where it's not even it's not even a singular human.
Is there a big movie or something coming out?
There'll be something.
That's what is it?
I don't know what it is yet.
Well, we know what movies are coming out.
Yeah.
Ooh, you should pick Godzilla.
I'm not even
the
sure.
new Godzilla movie coming out.
Could it be Godzilla next year?
Yeah, could it be?
I think it will be not a real human. Maybe a group like the Hollywood Strikers.
Maybe there'll be like an AI bot.
Oh, could be.
Yeah, that probably is a good choice.
This is Radio U's Worst of the Riot.
This is a report, some wild information. I'm glad it's finally coming to light. A new survey just published in the JAMA Dermatology, whatever, journal, I guess it would be.
Dermatologist Weekly.
Yeah. They found that that people with acne are routinely discriminated against in just about every walk of life.
No, that's not funny.
It's not funny, and I've experienced this.
Okay.
And I'm glad, finally, that clear skin privilege is being called into question and some light is being shed on the plight of those like me with acne. And I think each of us are entitled to compensation.
Oh, you think you deserve something?
I think we deserve better because according to this study, which was conducted by researchers at Brigham and Women's Hospital in Massachusetts, it revealed that people that struggle with acne are more likely to be discriminated against in regards to job opportunities, friendships, and dating.
I can see that.
Every walk of life, just about every area of life, if you have acne, you are worse off, and it's completely out of your control. And why? Why am I looked down upon? What does my acne say about me that makes me an unqualified job seeker?
See, I would say I am a clear-skinned folk. I've never really had acne.
Yeah.
So I can't relate to you on this
Rub it
level.
in. Rub it in.
But I think that you over there, you are definitely a part of the group that has it the worst. Because, and this is controversial, I think that men who have acne have the hardest time because you can't cover it up.
Yeah.
Like women who have acne, it still stinks. But you can put makeup on it. And to where you can kind of hide it a little bit.
Yeah.
If you're a guy, you just got to come in and you just got to face it.
Yep.
I mean, there's no like trying to cover it a little bit, putting anything on it, blending it in. That's not a thing. If you have a bad skin day, you got to wake up and just face the world.
This is
bare
what I've
naked
lived
bottom.
Through. Yeah. And like you with your clear skin, think about like you have reached this point in your life thanks to handouts from the clear skin establishment that has just been raising you up. Meanwhile, that same clear skin establishment has been holding me down, and I've been beating the odds to even get to this point.
It's impressive.
Yeah. And so now it's time for me to take what's mine. Now it's time for every job that I've ever been turned down for, they're going to have to answer for their sins. I will see you in court.
Like, you think about how easy it probably has been for me thus far to get here.
I know.
How are we even in the same room?
It's
what
amazing.
you've overcame.
That's right.
Is incredible. And I'm with you. I think having acne is one of the hardest things that anybody has to go through. And so I feel good for you for overcoming this so far.
I'm glad to have your support. I'm glad to have your support. It's been difficult going through what I've gone through. But
I mean,
now,
you're married. Think about this.
Uh-huh.
You've got a woman. You got a job. What else do they say in here?
Friendships.
I'm your friend.
That's the first time you've ever said that.
Well, that's the end of the break.
Oh, hi there.
This worst of the riot.
Crank that up.
Radio U.
Isaiah, have you ever had a moment in life where you have something that you're so stressed about that it keeps you up at night?
Yes.
Yeah. Would you like to share?
I would not.
Yeah, me neither. But I mean, I think that's a familiar experience for so many people. Is there's something weighing so heavily on your mind that even when you lie down to sleep, you can't sleep because just what's going on is so wild and so stressful to you. I was reminded of this because I've been watching the new season of the show Fargo.
Keeping you up, huh?
Not necessarily, although you know what? To be truthful, there probably have been a few shows that are hard to go to sleep after you watch them.
That's true.
I think of the last season of Stranger Things. Watching that before bed, that's stressful. But in the new season of Fargo, and this is, I guess, a minor plot point spoiler, but a guy, his wife gets kidnapped, and they have a daughter too. In the show, he puts his daughter to bed. The daughter knows that her mom is kidnapped. The daughter's just supposed to sleep, and then the dad walks away, and he falls asleep. And I'm like, this is the day that his wife got kidnapped. And I'm like, if my wife gets kidnapped, I don't think I'm falling asleep.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
I feel like I'm going to be too stressed. Now, granted, maybe so exhausted from that day that's the only thing I can think of. You get so exhausted that it cancels the stress out, and your racing mind, and you just finally conk out. But I mean, much less extreme things will keep you awake at night to where you can't get any sleep. And actually, even if there's things in your life that aren't preventing you from sleep, there are things that just the stress of certain stuff weighing on your mind, it clouds your mind so much that it prevents you from feeling other things, experiencing other things. I think what a lot of us are missing is peace. Because when you have peace, that frees you up to experience so many other things, to experience a good night of sleep, but to experience joy in life, to experience so many other positive emotions, because there isn't the stress of other stuff filling your mind and pushing out the space for other emotions. Jesus wants to give you peace. Even despite the wild things you may be going through, or the things that aren't that crazy, but still weigh heavy on your mind, Jesus can come in and clear out some space for you to feel the good parts of life and not have to be constantly bogged down by whatever it is that's bogging you down, by whatever it is that's stressing you out, keeping you from getting a good night of sleep, and keeping you from enjoying all this stuff. Jesus wants to do that for you. He can and he will. What you need to do is ask him for it. Say, hey, God, I've got a lot of stuff weighing heavily on me right now. I want you to help me out. And he will. RadioU.com/free gift if you'd like to know more.
Radio U's Worst of the Riot podcast.
I just became aware of a new term, Isaiah. This is, I'm glad to find out about this term that I've experienced many times in life. Toxic positivity.
Sounds kind of opposite of how usually it's toxic negativity.
Yeah. The people that are just always downers. But you think about toxic positivity, and you probably can picture somebody in your life that's like this, that is the polar opposite. You could tell them anything, any kind of bad news. Oh, my girlfriend just broke up with me. And they'll come back with something like, well, at least you get to meet somebody new.
Here we go.
Exciting new opportunities.
Now we're talking.
Or now at least you'll save money on dates. You don't have to buy a Christmas present. These kind of things. And toxic positivity, that's the term for people in your life that you could tell them whatever you tell them, and they're always going to put a positive spin on it, even though that's not always called for.
Yeah, this happens a lot, I feel like. a lot of people have issues with this.
Mm-hmm.
And a big example of this is a lot of times when you're talking to your lady and she's upset.
Ooh.
And what do? You try to fix it.
Smooth it over, yeah.
Make it better. That's not what they're asking you to do.
That's a great point.
They want you to just be like, man, that stinks. They don't want you to be like, well, you could do this, this, and that.
Uh-huh.
They aren't looking for answers, brother. They just want you to listen and be like, you know what? That really stinks. That's what toxic positivity is.
Man, that's a great, what a great take. Instead of making this about others, this is about you. This is about a time to look in the mirror and say, when are you being toxically positive?
Oh, yeah.
Because we all do it. I think that is true. Guys have a tendency to do it with their ladies.
Oh, it's no big deal.
Yeah, it's going to be okay.
You'll be fine.
Nobody wants to hear it's going to be okay.
You didn't get into law school? Well, that's okay, babe. I mean, you'll probably get in next time. It's not that big of a deal. No, they want you to be like, man, tough day, huh?
In the moment, in the heat of the moment, you gotta just say, yes, that sucks. You're right. I think another time that this is, that people are prone to do this is if you kind of get some like bad news or give bad news to somebody who's more of an acquaintance than like a true friend. Like, I mean, this sucks when it's a true friend and they're toxically positive and you tell them, yeah, they just broke up with me. And then they're too positive about it. But you're just banking on that being the response when somebody that you, like a coworker, you're just fully expect toxic positivity.
Oh, it has to be.
In that scenario.
There's no way it's not going to be anything but that.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh, that's the worst. But look at the bright side.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear look at the bright side.
Sorry to hear that, but it could be worse. That's a classic toxic positivity phrase that nobody wants to hear. You think about some people's entire personality, though, is toxic positivity. Like Mr. Rogers.
That's the truth.
Bob Ross.
There you go.
Actually, a lot of children's characters, basically. Toxic positivity. You gotta know. Sometimes you don't always have to look at the bright side.
You don't always have to be a fixer, make them happier.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you can just let them sulk. Sometimes you need to sulk in your own bad news. Sometimes you need to sit there and just soak it in. And that's what you want to do. Sometimes you want to just feel sorry for yourself for like a day. Feel bad for myself for a day. I don't want you to tell me I shouldn't feel bad for myself. I want to feel bad for a day. And then tomorrow I can figure out how I can make this positive. But today I want to be sad.
Think about this. To cap it all off, sometimes like, toxic positivity, here's what you can learn. Sometimes you don't need to be a fixer. You just need to be a listening ear.
Add a little riot to your Instagram feed. Follow @RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
Subway, they're looking for something. They're trying to grasp onto something to get people excited about Subway again. And when you think of Subway, what do you think about?
Subs.
That's not really the answer I was looking for.
I feel like that's the right answer.
That should be the right answer, right?
Yeah.
But you don't think good subs, probably.
I like Subway.
You do?
I do like Subway, yes.
What do you like about it?
I like their options. I like the steak and cheese.
Uh-huh.
I like the meatball marinara. I like their cookies. Those are my picks.
Ooh, the cookies.
Cookies are good.
See, now we're starting to talk here.
Oh, we're talking?
Now maybe you and Subway are on the same page. Because there's two things that Subway really wants to emphasize, it seems, going forward. And they're two of their maybe what many would consider strengths. One, cookies. Two, footlong. I thought when I asked you what you thought of when you think of Subway, I thought you were going to still say the $5 footlong song.
The $5 footlong song is epic.
It's iconic.
Even though it's no longer a thing.
It's not viable anymore. It's not true. And I don't even know if I guess since they haven't offered $5 footlongs in quite some time, they probably haven't used that song in quite a while either. But actually now they could bust it back out if they want to. Because starting January 18th, they are going to be offering not just footlong cookies, which we have brought up before. The footlong cookie for $5, in fact. But they've also got some more footlong options for you. The footlong Cinnabon churro.
Whoa, I'm okay. Okay, I like that.
And now this is where they're really talking my language. A footlong Auntie Anne's pretzel.
I like that.
Yeah.
A footlong pretzel.
Check this out. The $5 footlong song, they're gonna have to modify it. Because guess how much that footlong pretzel is from Auntie Anne's in the Subway? Well,
you think about Auntie Anne's. Auntie Anne's a little expensive. I'll say it.
It's a little pricey.
It's got to be probably, what is it? Is it not $5?
It's less than $5.
Less than $5.
Yeah. What do you think? What's more expensive, a pretzel or a cookie?
A pretzel.
No, it's not. The cookie's $5.
That seems like a scam. There's no way a cookie's more expensive than a pretzel.
I disagree.
Really, I feel like if I go to Annie Ann's and get a pretzel versus a cookie,
Yeah.
the pretzel would be more expensive, but I don't know.
The footlong pretzel, the Auntie Anne's footlong pretzel that will be offered at Subway starting on January 18th, $3. And it seems that includes a dipping sauce, which is important.
That is important.
Which dipping sauce do you go for at Auntie Anne's?
Oh, if I'm doing Annie Ann's, I'm doing something with a little cinnamon, so I'm doing icing.
Oh, okay. I don't know if they have a cinnamon pretzel. This is like the standard, like the salted.
So then I'm doing some sort of nacho cheese.
I think I go with the spicy cheese.
Okay.
I think I do if it's a regular pretzel. But honestly, at Auntie Anne's, sometimes you don't even need that because the pretzel itself is so good. And then check this out. The churro, the foot-long Cinnabon churro that Subway will start offering January 18th, $2.
$2?
Yeah, two. Sing it with me. $2. $2
churro.
foot-long. Yeah, there you go. $2 foot-long churro coming to Subway. This is, you know what? Is this going to be enough to get me to stop at Subway for lunch? No. But, will I, as I'm walking out of Walmart, past the Subway that's cranking out that disgusting sandwich smell, will I stop and consider, but maybe I need a $2 footlong churro for the road? I will consider that. Yes, I will. Yes, I will.
It's $2. $2.
Got a nice ring to it.
$2 churro.
Yeah. $3 pretzel.
$5 cookie. That one doesn't go as much.
Yeah, I don't think the cookie is what I will be turning to.
Oh, no, you're definitely taking the churro or the pretzel at $2 or $3.
Hold on. You could get a foot-long churro and a foot-long pretzel for the price of one foot-long cookie.
Now that's a deal.
If you get the cookie, you're an imbecile.
That's 2 feet.
Yeah. It's the riot.
Wasn't that a great riot clip? While you're here, you should watch more of our videos and subscribe so you don't miss what we do next.